Good morning, young spiriters, or whatever time of day you'll happen to be watching this. Today we're going to look at the next book in our
justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Hello, what are you protesting? Can you show us your sign?
If there's no justice, there's no peace.
If there's no justice, there's no peace. This sounds just like what Micah was protesting. Come and join. Let's talk about it. What does that mean? No justice, no peace. Oh, are you struggling there a little bit with the chair? You've chosen the heaviest one in the whole house.
It's not heaviest, it's just...
Come sit down. Let me move over. You can't get in this side. That's it. Come on that side. So, no justice, no peace. This might be a somewhat familiar image. This is something that is being said a lot at the minute, isn't it, by Black Lives protesters?
Yeah. Should I put...
And it's something Micah says too. Do you want to show them what we've got? Can we do that in a second? Can we just introduce Micah for a second? Mm-hmm. So Micah talks about again the people of God being unjust to their own people. Let me tilt this down a bit. He talks about how the leaders are judging each other in the courts for a bribe. Pay me money and I'll give you the answer you want. Priests are teaching for a price. Pay me money and I'll give you a sermon. I'll tell you what God is saying, but I'll tell you what you want to hear because you've paid me for it. Micah talks about false prophets as well. Prophets that are just saying what people want to hear, not actually what God is trying to communicate. But Micah also looks forward to a time where God is ruling, and instead of no justice, no peace, there is peace because there's justice. So, while we're chatting a little bit more about this today, we're going to do a protest poster that Micah would be proud of.
I'm going to do it.
We're going to use glue.
I'm going to do it.
Can you show them? We're going to use a bit of glue. We're going to use these little earbuds because they're great little glue spreaders for precision gluing.
Okay.
And we've got a selection of different size sequins. We're going to make a really shiny poster. So you go ahead and start. So why were the people of Israel, let me move this a little so we can see, why were the people of Israel struggling so much with following God's rules? What were God's rules, do you think, that they were so difficult?
Don't know.
Do you think they were really hard rules?
Like, be kind.
Be kind? Are those a bit hard? Are they asking a little too much?
No.
No, I don't think so either. There's a verse in Micah in chapter 6, verse 8, where God is speaking through Micah, and he's saying, "How have I burdened you?" God is saying to Israel, "How have I burdened you? What job have I given you that's just too much for you to cope with? I've shown you what is good, to act justly, to love mercy, and walk humbly with your God." And this is a verse I've referred to in the past, but I found this lovely colouring image. I'm hoping this is going to mirror image in the recording, because it says, "Do justly, walk humbly, love mercy," with this gorgeous rainbow motif behind. So I'm going to have a go at colouring that in later, and hopefully there'll be an upload as well of this, or a link to the website where you can just download this for yourself. That's brilliant. It's fine. You can just move them over. That's it. You could use one of these dry ones to arrange your sprinkles if you like. So what has this got to do with protesting?
Someone's at the door, Mum.
Somebody's at the door. I'm going to pause the recording.
Yeah.
And back. Yes, parcels. Anybody else experiencing this in lockdown? Constant deliveries? Because we're doing a lot of stuff online, right?
And it's near my birthday, 9 more days.
And it might be near her birthday, so we're getting a few extra ones in. So, back to Micah. How have I burdened you? What is it that I have asked you that is just too much? And God talks about, you will go to Babylon. You will go into exile. You'll lose your country and it's going to be hard, but you will be rescued there. And that verse really stood out to me. That's from chapter 4, verse 10. How can rescue be part of the plan of going to Babylon? And it got me thinking about some of the really hard times in my life, the times where I've really had a difficult time. And maybe you can think, Francesca, of difficult times, and you watching think of difficult times. What good has sometimes come of those things? I don't think that it's as simple as God does bad things to us to make us learn things, but I think there's definitely something that happens in those hard times that is part of what heals us. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Coronavirus.
Like coronavirus. So
like, I don't like it. It's not good, but if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have done some things that we have done now.
Right, so good can come of even terrible things like coronavirus. A lot of people have really suffered. People have lost their lives. And yet, for some of us, there have been moments or opportunities where we actually get to dig deep into what we love, dig deep into what we're appreciating. People who are suffering were starting to recognize that they need justice, they need support, they need more financial support, or they need more emotional support, or they need to be listened to.
What I'm gonna do, because this is really hard, is I'm just gonna sprinkle glitter everywhere,
sprinkle.
and then at the end I'm just gonna
see if it still spells no justice.
No, see if it comes off.
Okay. And that's kind of the message of Micah. It's quite a short book, but it's really about, you want peace. You want a peaceful world, the world that God offers. And there are verses in there about beating swords into plowshares, not needing war anymore, but being able to live in a time of peace. And the only way through for that, according to Micah, is to fight for justice, to make sure that people have enough to eat. One of the strong images from that wonderful world that God offers of peace is everyone will sit under their own vine and under their own fig tree. And no one will make them afraid until we have made sure that everybody has the food they need and the shelter they need. And until we've made sure that nobody needs to live in fear, we will have no peace. This is a very strong message.
I can't even
Should we have a look? So far we have this.
I can't read it.
Do you know what? In the same spirit of make a joyful noise to the Lord, we can make a glittery mess to the Lord and know that it is beautiful.
Can I just put like glue everywhere?
Yeah,
all over
chuck the sequins on. That's it.
Okay.
Just vaguely follow it.
I'm not even going to put it on the
We probably needed bigger letters, didn't we, really? Could have just done one that said just peace on it. Okay, she's going mad with the sequins. This is the way our day is going to go. We hope you have a wonderful day. If you can see any injustice in the world, there's your answer for why there's no peace. What can you do about injustice? What can you do today to make sure that justice happens? And we started talking, didn't we, about how when we don't have peace between us, when we don't have peace in our home, it's because there is that feeling of injustice.
This is so
Sometimes I'm too strict.
Yes,
Sometimes I don't listen. Sometimes Francesca's spoiling for a fight. And then there's no peace until there is justice and fairness and everybody can feel calm and not afraid. We will have no peace. And God is a God of peace. That's what he wants. And it's not a burden. It's not too much to ask that we fight for this.
Oh my gosh.
And
So
would you like to wave in your mess? Shall we show them the end result?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Just if you need any reassurance about not needing perfection in life, here we go. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
At the start it came fine, but then everything else is just like no.
Happy Sunday. Bye.
Bye.